Hey, Manisha, what are you doing?
I'm just ordering a cheesecake on Zomato. Okay, listen to me. How many times have you heard that sugar is absolute poison and you should stay away from it as much as you want? And how many times have you failed to do that and felt completely guilty and shitty about it? Well, if that is the case, then you are not alone. Because in this video, I'm going to break down the science of why exactly it's stupid to think that we can take our love for sugar down to zero. And also, we'll share 5 practical tips which you can use to not only control the sugar craving naturally, but also we are going to talk about the Ayurvedic perspective of it and exactly how you can take care of your health while eating the sugar. So if you are also a shameless sweet lover like myself, then keep on watching because this video is gonna be very interesting. Human beings are wired to love sugar because since the time of early man when food was very scarce, sweet fruits were only the option of dense calories where you can get your energy from. So our love for food goes way beyond millions of years. Do you think it's going to go away just like that? The only problem is that in the case of early man, that sugar was only available after too much of hard work and too much of searching. But in our case, this sugar is available right on your phone.
Hey, Manisha, what are you doing?
I'm just ordering a cheesecake on Zomato. Relatable? Of course. And also, on top of it, with the lack of physical activity that we have, all of this sugar is getting accumulated in our blood and in our body as fat and hence creating lifestyle disorders. So, let's talk about 5 ways that you can solve this mania of sugar once and for all. The solution number 1 to work around reduction of this sugar mania is to stop considering it as a forbidden food which you cannot have, which you are not allowed to have. Let's do a simple exercise to practice what I'm trying to say. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Now you're allowed to think of anything with your closed eyes, but you're not allowed to think about a monkey with a red cap. No, no monkey with the red cap. Now open your eyes. What did you think about? Exactly. The point that I'm trying to make is that the more you resist something, the more it is going to persist in your head. And when you're trying to hold back yourself from one specific thing that you really like, your mind will not stop thinking about it. And that's the reason why you have to firstly make peace with the idea of having sugar. Because let me tell you this thing, sweet foods are not poison. Since the Stone Ages, sweet foods have been an equivalent of safety, security, and energy. And this connection that we have with sugar is not going to go anywhere anytime soon. So, if you do not want this monkey with the red cap bothering you again and again, you have to make friends with it. When you absolutely feel like having something sweet and you feel that your entire peace of mind depends on it, it is okay to have a little piece of chocolate, and that's completely fine, completely healthy, because mental health is also a very important part of overall being healthy. Solution number 2 to work around the sugar cravings is to make sure that you're eating overall balanced meals in enough quantity so that you do not have any space for any meaningless cravings. If you're constantly trying to eat less, you will not be able to stop that meaningless craving, and hence you will crave for more food, you'll crave for more sweet. And at a flip side, if you're completely satisfied with what you have eaten in the meal and it has all the flavors that you like, you will not even crave for anything, would you? I'll give you a real life example for this as well. Remember the last time when you completely overate everything that was on the table and somebody offered you something sweet? Were you able to have it? I'm sure not. And even if you had, you did not enjoy it as much, right? And this is what I mean to say. When you are completely content with what you have eaten, you will not crave for meaningless stuff. And here are 2 things that you can do to immediately fix your meal composition. First, increase the amount of protein that you're consuming. You can add a glass of milk, 2 eggs, a cup of curd, a bowl of dal, some chicken, whatever is your choice of protein. Add an extra quantity of that in your plate so that you're completely content. The second thing that I want you to do is that you should always have a good amount of fiber on your plate. And the fiber is also going to come from vegetables, from dals. If you're having a sweet meal, then a fruit can also work. So try to add a good amount of fiber and protein to your meal, which will satiate you, which will make you feel completely content, and keep you full for a very long time. So if you are having a balanced meal which has carb, protein, fiber, you will not crave for anything and you will not even get hungry for the next easy 4 to 5 hours. And by doing this, you give your body the time to digest completely the food that you have eaten. Secondly, you have the energy which is going to be slowly released in your body. So you will have sustainable level of energy throughout the day. The third thing, when you are not thinking about food, you can think about your work. You can think about being productive. You can actually go out and do something rather than just worrying about food and the next meal. Solution number 3 to combat sugar cravings is to understand your Ayurvedic personality of the body. As per Ayurveda, the entire universe is made out of 5 elements: air, water, space, fire, and earth. And there are 3 different combinations of these elements which create certain prakriti or certain nature and characteristics in each of our bodies. And for every person, there are 2 dominant and 1 submissive characteristic there. These characteristics are Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Now, the people with Pitta imbalance or a slightly higher level of Pitta in their body have a little more of fire element in their body, which means their metabolism is way too fast, and when it is in the normal balance, then it shows itself as good metabolism, good appetite. But when it goes over, or when it is not your nature but it is an imbalance, then it creates too much digestive fire, which can lead to acidity, bloating, and as a defense mechanism, sugar comes to a rescue in these issues. Now, whether you know your body type or not, your brain knows. And if you are having these digestive issues, as a defense mechanism, your brain might want you to consume some sugar. Of course, our brain is looking for natural sweetness and not these processed desserts that we have, but that's where we go wrong. There are 2 ways in which you can know what your body type is. One, you can get a Nadi Pariksha done by an Ayurvedic doctor. Second, you can download a Prakriti analysis document in the description box where you can test yourself based on multiple characteristics that are listed down, which is your body type. However, this science of understanding your Prakriti is very deep, and I would highly recommend that if you find some imbalances, you definitely go to an Ayurvedic doctor and get yourself checked. The solution number 4 to combat sugar cravings is that you increase your muscle mass. It has been proven in gazillions of research papers that we are not overfat, we are under muscled. And the science behind that is that when you have good amount of muscle in your body, that muscle works as an energy sucker from the entire body. So whatever you're eating, all the glucose that is released in your blood is going to be taken care of by your muscle. And hence, when you increase your muscle mass, you get stronger, your bone density improves, and your entire nutrition absorption also improves. And hence, even if you enjoy eating desserts more, even if you like eating sweets more, your muscle mass will take care of it. Now, in this point also, I'll give you a real life example. Have you ever seen a person who works out really well, lifts weights, and eats like an animal? Yes, muscle mass is the reason why they are able to absorb and digest all of that good food and all of that quantity of food. So if you want to enjoy desserts, start lifting some weights. It's as simple as that. The next solution to combat unnecessary sugar cravings is to work on your sleep cycle, quantity and quality both. What I mean by sleep quality is that a lot of people believe that 7 to 8 hours of sleep is more than enough. But I'll give you another real life example in this. If you compare a sleep that you have taken from 10 p.m. to 6-7 a.m. versus a sleep which you have taken from 3 a.m. to 10-11 a.m., which one is going to be more restful? The first one, right? The reason behind this is that when you are sleeping in sync with the sun cycle, you're getting down and getting up in sync with the sun. That's when your body performs optimally, your energy levels are high, and your hunger and satiety hormones are in sync with each other. When your sleep quality or quantity is bad, that's when the hunger hormone ghrelin increases, and hence you get more hungry and you feel like eating more and more bad stuff as well. And of course, apart from that, if you're awake till late in the night, you're bound to feel hungry because you've had your dinner maybe 5-6 hours back. A few things that you can do to improve your sleep cycle. Number one, make sure that you're sleeping and waking up at the similar time, same time, every single day, even on the weekends, because our brain, the primal early man brain, does not understand the difference between weekdays and weekends. For our brain, routine equates with safety. Second, try to have your dinner at least 2 to 3 hours before your sleep time. I'm not saying that you'll be able to digest the fruit properly and all of that jazz. Of course, that is the case. But we also need to consider the fact that once we are done with our dinner, that's when our me time starts. And we need at least that 1.5 hour, 2 hour to unwind the day. And that's only when we can go to sleep. So if you're eating your dinner at, let's say, 10, 11, of course you're not going to be sleepy before 2. And that's when your hunger hormone rises, your stress hormone rises, you crave for sugar, and all of that bad stuff happens. And the third tip to improve your sleep cycle is to have blue light filters and yellow light after the sunset time around your house and in your gadgets. The blue lights from the gadgets and the white light from our tubes and CFLs just mimics the daytime light, and our brain is still confused about whether it is day or night. And till the time your brain cannot recognize the surroundings as night, it is not going to start the repair hormone production. So far in this video, we have talked about how to not fear the monkey with the red cap, how to improve your meal composition, how to understand your body type, how to improve the sleep cycle, and exactly how you can improve your muscle mass and eat desserts without guilt. I hope by this point it is very clear that sugar is actually not bad. The source, where we are having it from and how much of it we are having, is the problem. And I do understand that the pain and fear that has been put in our minds through the diet culture is not going to go away in one day. And if you are someone who has tried everything and still nothing is working, you're still binging, despite the fact that you know that these foods are not good for you and you do not even want to have them, you want some one-on-one guidance, then you can book a session with me using the link inside the description box. And on that note, I hope you have a fit week and a fit life, and you remember that I love you unconditionally. Bye.